Hi, this is Arthur, and this is a summary of the story of the World Quests and of the Narzissenkreuz and Unfinished Story released in Genshin Impact version 4.0. The traveler is swimming around Fontaine when they run into an Oceanid named Anne. Anne tells them that she is part of the Narzissenkreuz adventure team who seeks to rescue Princess Lyris and reclaim this realm of Anapausis from Narcissus the Fell Dragon. They follow Anne to Anapausis, where there is a large tower in the center with an Oceanid wrapped around it. It's explained that the Oceanid is in fact Narcissus, and the princess is trapped in the tower. In order to free her, an elaborate series of tasks are required in order to unseal the tower and enter it. They head off and rescue the rest of the Narzissenkreuz adventure team while going through the necessary tasks to unseal the tower. They eventually unseal the tower and enter with the rest of the adventure team, who also seem to be Oceanids. In order to send the traveler to the top of the tower, the adventure team decides to sacrifice their individuality and merge together. The adventure team explains that all of them originated from the same body of water and took their separate forms in order to keep Princess Lyris company. If they forsake their individual forms and join together, they can use the combined magic within them to send the traveler to the top of the tower. This doesn't seem to mean their deaths, but an end to their individuality and physical forms. Anne adds that since the princess created them, she can also bring them back. The rest of the adventure team then merge together into a giant ball of water and send Anne, Paimon, and the traveler up towards a portal at the top of the tower. They enter the portal and end up in a library. They then travel through the tower, reading books, solving puzzles, and learning about this place. Anne also seemingly regains memories. They learn about a place known as the Narzissenkreuz Institute, where orphans were raised and often played make-believe with each other. They travel on and defeat an Oceanid that seems to be Narcissus the Fell Dragon. They continue further and eventually find a book telling the same story that Anne initially told the traveler about the Narzissenkreuz adventure team rescuing Princess Lyris and defeating the dragon. Just then, they are transported to a magical, peaceful-looking place that seems to be the true Anapausis. They explore the place and meet someone named Mary Ann. As they talk, Mary Ann speaks of children who used to play here and a friend who'd been to Sumeru. Mary Ann also tells a story about a body of water full of life. Droplets that separated from that body also had life, but were weaker and took different forms. Each droplet would develop on its own and become its own existence. Side note, the story likely describes the creation of Anne and the other Oceanids in the Narzissenkreuz adventure team. After some more discussion, the traveler realizes that everything they'd just been through is not real and is simply part of a story. Mary Ann transports them out of the true Anapausis behind a transparent wall. Mary Ann says that she had a dream once about this very adventure, and the dream accidentally created Anne and the other Oceanids that the traveler encountered. Mary Ann tells Anne that she wishes her to be her own master and to go out and experience the beauty of the real world. Mary Ann also says that this Anapausis is her tomb, and that everything in the real world has already ended, and says farewell. They are then sent outside the portal they originally entered. They talk amongst themselves and note that meeting the traveler likely threw the whole story off course and led to Anne becoming self-aware. Anne then mentions a place called the Narzissenkreuz Ordo from her recovered memories, and they decide to go find it. Side note, the Narzissenkreuz Ordo is a room that can be reached after reading a book within the Institute of Natural Philosophy, accessible during the Aqueous Tidemark's quest. They eventually find the Narzissenkreuz Ordo and discuss their conclusions. Anne concludes that she is an Oceanid and a fragment of Mary Ann that she created while she was dreaming. Mary Ann is also an Oceanid. When Anne met the traveler, the story Mary Ann dreamed of veered off course and Anne gained her own existence. If the traveler hadn't met Anne, it's unclear what would have happened to Anne and the rest of the adventure team. They all might have just disappeared like a dream. Since Anne came from Mary Ann, the memories Anne recovered are all likely Mary Ann's memories. Anne remembers things about the Narzissenkreuz Institute and the Ordo, though those memories are still unclear. Anne also remembers the primordial waters being devoured and the world falling into darkness, but Anne isn't sure if this is a memory from the past or the future. Anne then decides to stay in the Narzissenkreuz Ordo and to try and recover more memories. Side note, the story continues in the world quest Ancient Colors. If you completed Ancient Colors first, you can continue this quest line as the quest order does not matter. I will also summarize the story of the quest The Final Question in the Ancient Colors story recap. And that is the end of this quest in this video. If you like what you've seen here, please like, comment, and subscribe.